General, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Are you looking forward to the wedding today?
Yes, I'm obviously looking forward to it.
Why?
Because it's in the future.
General, stay with us. Because this is perhaps a good time to remind you for the first time about KYTV's beautiful book of the wedding, which we've just produced, telling the story of the fairy tale romance, and the one about the bishop and the cucumber, which you'll find on page 24. And the whole book has a foreword from the Duke of Edinburgh. Oh, no, I'm sorry, it has a four-letter word from the Duke of Edinburgh, which he kindly gave us when we asked him for a foreword. That's right, yes.
So what is there to know about today's KY couple? Well, the Stanmores are one of Britain's foremost aristocrats, and the present Marquis himself can trace his family with the aid of a pencil and a piece of toilet paper. The first Duke was the illegitimate son of Charles II's illegitimate son by a prostitute he had a quickie with round the back of the Horse Guards Parade, which means he has one of the most distinguished royal antecedents of any aristocrat in Britain today. His name has been romantically linked with several glamorous film stars, such as Brooke Shields, Fiona Fullerton, and Joan Collins, just as his father was linked to glamorous film stars of his day, such as Joan Crawford, Betty Davis, and Joan Collins. But the lady who was to capture the Marquis's heart was, of course, Lady Catherine, with her ever-present smile and distinctive, slightly pinched nose, both a legacy from her years of training as a synchronized swimmer.
It's a royal wedding. One country where I'm sure there is considerable interest and excitement right now is Australia, and we can go over and talk live to our man in Sydney, Eric Baker. Hello, Eric. Hello, Eric.
Hello?
Ah, hello, Eric.
What time is it?
Eric, you must be very excited.
Oh, hang on. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
What are the people of Sydney doing right now?
They're sleeping. Do you know it's 3 o'clock in the bloody morning, mate?
I expect there are 1 or 2 street parties going on, are there?
Are there? I don't bloody know.
Well, perhaps you could tell us how things are looking there, Eric.
Dark.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Don't they know it's 3 o'clock in the morning?
Well, I'm telling them, you stupid bitch.
Oh, don't call me a bitch!
OK, time now
It's
to...
3 o'clock in the morning, you bastard.
Oh, don't call me a bastard,
I'm not calling you a bastard, you stupid
Well,
bitch.
Eric enjoying himself there, as always. Well, I'd like now to talk to the Colonel about some of the exciting scandals surrounding Lady Catherine's rebel years as a teenager. While you at home watch this slightly less exciting episode of our Brazilian soap opera, Olé.
And now, episode 4 of our Brazilian soap opera, Olé. The story so far. Bertrand has accused Dorothy of having an affair with Trevor. Dorothy and Trevor have confessed, but after only a brief time with Trevor, Dorothy has gone back to Bertrand. Meanwhile, Bertrand has started seeing Reginald, who has arrived home unexpectedly to find Dorothy back in Bertrand's bed. Now, Dorothy, Bertrand, and Reginald have decided to set up home together, but have been devastated by the news of Trevor's suicide, for which Dorothy blames herself. Furthermore, Dorothy has also discovered that she's pregnant. Well, that's all we have time for. Join us next week for episode 5.
Twice at the front and once up the back.
Yes, well, any moment now we'll be seeing that dress that everybody here has just been talking about, and that seems as good a moment as any to introduce our agony aunt, Anna Rabies.
Hi.
Who won't be discussing your personal problems today, because I'm sure she wants to talk about that dress.
No, I don't. I want to talk about orgasms.
So let's turn to another topic for a moment. Colonel, it's going to be an arduous, emotional day for your daughter. How do you think they'll feel once they're finally alone together?
Well, if it's anything like my own unforgettable wedding night, he'll take her in his arms and, feeling slightly giddy from all the champagne, he'll throw up in her ear.
Yes, it's a romantic occasion, isn't it?
Which is why it'll be vitally important that the royal couple will be able to talk openly and freely about their sexual problems.
Yes, well, I don't actually know that there'll be any sexual problems.
Nonsense, everyone has sexual problems. The Colonel probably can't get it up, the General probably can't get it to go down again. I have a problem achieving at least 5 orgasms simultaneously, and you have a secret about masturbating. But it's
I'm sorry,
right,
Anna, I'm sorry, I do not have a secret about masturbating.
Well, not now that we've told all our viewers, no.
Yes, thank you very much, Colonel. I think your taxi's here to take to the church.
Oh, no, plenty of time yet.
Well, also here with us in the studio is Douglas Callow, the author of our book of the wedding, priced £35. That's the title, I believe. Douglas, perhaps I could ask you to tell us a little bit about how the young couple met.
Well, of course, they have met several times already at royal garden parties, whist drives, that sort of thing. But I think the thing that's brought them together more than anything is their mutual love of leather.
I should just clarify that, of course, you're saying that they both have a love of horse riding.
Really? I didn't know that.
Right, well, let's see how things are going down there on the route. Mike?
Yes, I'm here with a group of well-wishers, one or two of us who are not quite so well on account of being kept waiting out in the rain for hours for something to happen. Still. And that cheer suggests that the procession is approaching at last. Yes, I can see... Yes, thank you, I'll have that. Thank you. I can see the royal coach with the Duchess looking out of the window. I don't know why they got me to do this. I've really got no interest in it whatsoever. Behind her is... who's that? The Royal Equerry. The Royal Equerry, apparently, whatever that is. And his coach is being pulled by 2 very large horses. It's a bit stupid, you know.
Could we talk a little about the couple's royal duties?
Well, a lot of people imagine that royalty spend their days trotting out their horses and walking their dogs.
Which is wrong.
Oh, yes. I mean, not every day is as hectic as that.
So, General, how do they spend their time?
Well, of course, they receive a great many requests to do charity work and things to benefit the local community, so a lot of their time is taken up turning all of those down.
Yes, and of course their duties don't stop in this country, do they? I mean, when they go abroad, they often act as our ambassadors.
Yes, although that's only because our actual ambassadors are usually too pissed to do it themselves.
I gather we can now go over to the church itself.
Yes, indeed, Mike. The Queen Mother has just reached the church, charming everybody with the informality of her arrival.
Lovely. Well, let's go over and join an adapter who has now gone out into the street.
Well, not actually out on the street, Mike, because it's actually rather wet out there. But I'm in the room where the royal wedding presents are on display, and what a magnificent sight they are. This table, for instance, contains some 75 Elizabeth David fondue sets. And this particular one is really rather special. It's apparently from the Prince and Princess of Wales, and is, in fact, exactly the same fondue set that the Marquis gave them on their wedding. Now, over here, we have something quite different. 75 pop-up toasters. But this is something rather special. It's carved in ivory with hand-carved Maasai warrior markings, and it is actually another pop-up toaster. And finally, over here is the splendid present to the couple from KYTV itself. And don't be fooled into thinking it's simply a toilet. It is, in fact, enamelled in gold. And, as a pièce de résistance, plays Gloria Gaynor singing I'm Looking Out for Number 1 when you sit on it. It's a royal wedding.
Yes, and I believe we can now see the bridegroom's car arriving. His mother must be very proud to see him here today, particularly after last night's stag party, at the end of which he was apparently left handcuffed stark naked to the gates of Buckingham Palace with his private parts dyed day-glow orange. Something which will, of course, remind some of our older viewers of the wedding of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, when Queen Victoria was, of course, found in a similar position. And as I watch people go into the nice, warm church, I'm delighted to say that I've been joined by an adapter who's here to take over from me. Isn't that right, Anna?
No, I'm one of the guests.
Oh, marvellous. Well, what a great honour for her. Still, I suppose things could be worse. At least you haven't been invited to join Anna and the Royals in the church, Mike?
No, that's right, Mike. Yes, I'll be joining them later at the reception, in fact.
Oh, good. Something else I haven't been invited to. Pearl Harbor.
Well, we've looked at some of the magnificent dresses here today, but what about the hats? Douglas. Douglas, the hats.
Yes. Well, there's marvellous hats here today. I can see one there with a very distinguished, simple brim. And, oh, there's another one behind that with a very similar brim. Similar colour as well, that's grey. And, oh, look at that one. That one at the back there is grey as well. In fact, they're all grey.
Yes, Douglas, these are all men's hats, aren't they?
Yes.
Well, not really much expertise called for, is there, seeing as how they're all exactly the same?
Well, if you want to know about women's hats, you'll have to ask somebody else.
If I want to know what your name is, I'll have to ask someone else the way you're going.